Hey guys, welcome to Binge This. This is a show that we're going to watch something every week and do a review on it. And we're going to watch something that's either on Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, something that you guys have at home and subscribe to. So what we're going to do is this week, our first review is a movie that's on Amazon Prime, and that movie's called Arkansas. Now, Arkansas is a film that was actually written and I guess directed by one of the stars of the film. This guy was also in Hot Tub Time Machine, and they actually showed it at one of the Austin Film Festivals, and they were going to release it in theaters, but then the pandemic happened, and then they didn't release it, so they released it on Amazon Prime. So we got a chance to watch it. I'm joined here with my brother and also my dad. So welcome to the show. All right, so first of all, what did you guys think of the movie overall? And give me some initial feedback before we kind of go through the synopsis of it.
You want to go first, Dad, or you want me to?
I'll go first. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was kind of a dark humor movie, if you want to call it that. It kept it fairly lighthearted throughout the movie, but it did have a serious theme behind it. And I really enjoyed it. I didn't think at first that I would enjoy it. I thought, well, this is going to be something really corny. Cornball, it's not going to be very good, but I really enjoyed the movie. Yes, I did.
Okay. What do you think, Kelsey?
I thought it was pretty good. I thought when I first saw it, had Liam Hemsworth and Vince Vaughn. I think they're both pretty good actors. Vince Vaughn has different characters in different movies. He can do comedy. He could do like drama. And then Liam Hemsworth's kind of more like a serious guy, like his brother, without the hammer. So
yeah, I mean, I haven't seen many things with Liam Hemsworth in it. I can't remember. I know. Yeah,
he's in a Western movie on Amazon too.
Oh,
or maybe it's Netflix, but it's in a Western movie, and I've seen that one too, and that one's pretty good too.
So I was reading kind of about this movie, and a lot of people were saying that Liam Hemsworth, this is his role, like this is his breakout role to be a superstar now or whatever. When I first started watching the movie, so it introduces us to this guy, Liam Hemsworth's character. His name's Kyle, and he's kind of he's in his apartment, and he kind of looks like he's depressed or something. We don't really know what's going on, and when he starts speaking the Southern accent, I'm like, oh, here come the fake Southern accents, because usually Hollywood doesn't do very well with Southern accents, especially people who are from, but he's from Australia, so he might be able to pull it off more than somebody from up north or something.
Yeah, he did pretty good. Like I said, I enjoyed the movie. He started out, and actually, I feel that he plays this role like it's very believable. Like it's a very believable role that he did, and like towards the very end of the movie, it's almost like I guess without giving the movie away, like he takes over the business from one of the main characters in the movie, and it's like it could set up a sequel. I don't know, but
yeah, it kind of does open it at the end, like kind of for a sequel. So basically, it's about moving drugs in Arkansas. And the idea is that, this character is moving, what is the drug is he moving? Is he moving heroin or cocaine?
I think it's cocaine, but it's not just in Arkansas though, it's everywhere. He moves it all over the place. And he just takes trips and just drops it off, and he sets up kind of like he just meets up with certain people and drops it off and gets the money, and there's no questions asked, and he doesn't get involved any more than what he has to get involved with, and he never meets the guy that runs the business, and that's the way that he likes it. He doesn't have any friends, no family, no girlfriend, no wife, nothing to keep him tied down. Yeah, and he's all focused on like his job, and like this is the way that things need to be, and then his partner, the guy that wrote the movie, Clark Duke, Swin, he's complete opposite.
Yeah, so I didn't recognize him at first. Like, he's from Hot Tub Time Machine, the guy with the glasses and the long hair.
Yeah.
Time Machine. So when he came on there, he had like this bun and he had these glasses on. And this weird mustache, and I didn't even know that was him. And I was like, oh, that guy's pretty good. And then when I found out he's actually from Arkansas and he wrote and directed it and did all this, and it's his movie, then I thought, oh, that's interesting, you know.
But it kind of struck me as strange that the little odd-looking guy's the one that got the girl.
I think
the other guy didn't get the girl. Unless they got she. I think he and she got together.
Well,
yeah, so he might have wrote it that way.
Love interest is Josh Brolin's daughter, and she's in the film, and she plays she's always in Scrubs. Where does she work?
If she's a nurse, I don't know.
She's a nurse,
right? Yeah, she's a nurse or works for maybe a nursing home or something like that. I don't really know.
Yeah.
And he picks her up at a grocery store.
And he picks her up at a grocery store. So he's going down the aisle. He sees this girl. You can see the look on his face, and he's like, I am going to go over there and talk. He has no problem going over there and talking to her and like, what's up? And it's like, oh, God, you know.
Well, I've heard this, and I don't know that it's a fact, but I've heard this. You don't have to go on some sort of meeting app or something. The best place to meet chicks is in a grocery store. And that's what somebody told.
Right. Or a hardware store. You can act like you work there.
Oh, because they might not know what tools, and you'd be like, oh, here's.
Yeah. Or looking for a flashlight in your pocket or something. So I wanted to say this, just to go back just a little bit. When he first came on, he was talking about the Dixie Mafia. And I can kind of relate to that because I come from a small southern town, and it has evolved into that.
It's based around drugs?
Yeah, based around drugs. Mm-hmm. And he talks about the Dixie Mafia. He said it's not organized like the Mexican cartel or the Italian mafia or anything like that. But he said it's a bunch of deadbeats and losers, and they don't even really know each other. It shows them, carrying money, carrying drugs, dropping it off at a truck stop or here, and nobody really knows who all's connected in it. It's loosely connected. But I know people exactly like that.
Yeah, so it's authentic in that reality. Like he wrote this movie because he probably has had experience. I mean, this kid grew up in Arkansas too, and.
Yeah, right. So, and he probably knows the same thing. It is a bunch of deadbeats and losers. But I'll say another thing about that. The first thing that come to mind when I saw Hemsley on there, and you talked about the Southern accent, he's Australian, but I was trying to think of an actor that could have done just as good as Hemsley, and I think I saw someone in the Predator, was in the Predator movie.
Oh, that's
and
right.
Then I saw someone that was in a couple other movies. Boyd Holbrook is his name.
That's right.
And I think he would have been perfect for that character because his Southern accent would indeed be a truly real.
Yeah, he's from Prestonsburg, Kentucky, and he kind of like Johnny Depp's from that area too. By the way.
Oh, okay.
But he was he's also in a new show with Kiefer Sutherland. It's a remake of The Fugitive, but it's a series on Quibi.
Okay.
It's only 10-minute episodes.
Oh, good, cool. So, but Boyd, probably coming from that part of the country, probably does know of Dixie Mafia or deadbeats and losers and something like that. That do things like that. Sell drugs.
So we follow this guy Kyle. He meets up with this guy named Swish. Is it Sish? Swish? Swen. And so that's the character from Hot Tub Time.
Right.
He knows this guy named Froggy, or he's working for the same people, right? So
right.
Froggy is the main boss, so to speak, in this movie, and later we find out who Froggy is.
But I'm not sure that everybody knows. They may work for him, but everybody doesn't necessarily know who Froggy is.
Right. So this movie split up. So the first part is a chapter 1, and it kind of shows, it introduces us to these characters of Liam Hemsworth and this guy, and they're working together. They're moving some drugs. They run into John Malkovich. John Malkovich is in this movie for not that long, and he plays a park ranger.
Well, we don't want to give too much of this movie away now.
No, we can't. I don't see a problem.
We don't want to be a spoiler here, but
But but he is in the movie, and he plays a park ranger that's in on this drug trade, and he knows all about Froggy, and he lives in a nice house. Does he live on a park? Is that a park ranger's house?
Yeah.
Such a nice.
That's a park ranger house. I guess it's a state park in Arkansas.
Okay. So then they meet. They start this big deal. They're starting to move more drugs, or the size of these things, and they're starting to get more involved with it. And then they end up getting in a couple of entanglements there with Malkovich, his character, the park ranger.
And Hemsley and the other guy move on the park and are mowing lawns and stuff like that. And then
they act like groundskeepers to that.
Groundskeepers, yeah.
There's some certain rules. They can't have women around. They can't draw too much attention to themselves and all that stuff.
And see, and that goes back again to the initial, like, so Kyle is like straight, like he knows the job, like he doesn't get involved with anybody. And then Swin obviously gets a girlfriend. She ends up getting pregnant, so he causes a lot of conflict with the organization and stuff and what they're doing.
Right.
So he brings a lot of unneeded attention on himself because of this. So he gets more, and then they end up telling her about everything. So then they involve her later on into what they're doing.
Yeah. So this guy Froggy,
who has knowledge of it.
Right. So Froggy, who's I guess the Vince Vaughn character, we could say Froggy is Vince Vaughn. He's the one who starts sending these people in to see who these two guys are. And this guy that keeps showing up at the house, I love that character, that guy that was coming to the house. He said, I'm driving cross country and my dad died. And he said the park ranger was one of his best guys. And that character was so great. I don't know who played that guy, but that was awesome.
I think it was I'm looking at the things right now. It's Justin. I think this is his name. Justin Street. That might be him. Justin Street.
Oh yeah, he was so funny.
The character. Yeah.
He's like, "What's going on? Every time I'm around here, y'all are in here. What's going on?" And he gets so suspicious.
Yeah. Frog had sent him over there, I think, to try to find out what was going on.
He's like, "Who are these guys?" And then that guy ends up getting it.
Yeah.
Another spoiler. Look, we're gonna have some spoilers.
Another spoiler alert.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we could probably have some spoilers. I mean, because it is, you can watch it on TV.
But it's so good. You gotta still watch the movie, obviously.
And then there's a lady named She gives them their orders, I guess.
Her. Is it her?
It's her. She is her, maybe. Yeah. Well, it's one and the same.
And that's Vivica A. Fox.
Gender in specific nowadays. You can't say either or.
She acts like a barrier between the drug packets and Froggy, and so it's not a direct correlation with that. So as this progresses, so we get introduced to these characters, these misfitted characters. Then we go into chapter 2, which starts Froggy and how he got started in the drug business, and how he had a pawn shop. Then this pawn shop, he would just sell random things that come in, and then one day, I think it was in the 80s.
It was.
They said, "Oh, do you want to move some? What kind of drug was it? Do you remember what kind of drug was it?"
PCP.
PCP. And so they were like, "Okay, can you move that?" And he's like, "What do I look like, a drug dealer?" And then he started getting cash from that guy, and started moving that. Then he starts progressing. Then he has a mentor, the guy that owned the fireworks shop, and then he starts to.
His name's Allman.
Yeah, Allman. That's right, Allman. And he starts to double cross that guy. Vince Vaughn's character starts to double cross Allman, and he actually
because he realizes, like, as he's selling this product, that he's not making much money, and he's giving Allman all of his like proceeds and the profit, and he's only keeping a small amount. So Vince Vaughn gets upset, and he's like, "Wait a minute, I think I probably need to take over." So he ends up calling the police. And he narcs on the guy, and the police arrest him. So then he goes.
And there's a scene where Allman's in a jumpsuit in there.
Prison.
Well, what's cool, the transition. So Vince Vaughn's on the phone. He's calling the police to narc on him, and then it cuts to him opening the phone in the jail cell and to talk to Allman. And Almond's like, hey, and then he goes, well, aren't you glad I turned you in instead of somebody else? You know what I mean? And
then Almond says, I wish you would have killed me.
Yeah. Why didn't you just
Right.
kill me, man?
Why didn't you just kill me? And then he says, I just have one thing, you know, because his sister he was taking care of his sister.
Right.
He said, hey, put my sister in a nice home, the best home you could possibly do.
Oh,
so
yeah, because what was wrong with his sister? His sister had, like, disabled or something?
She was in a wheelchair or something.
And Froggy starts having an affair with Almond's sister. Her name is Walnut.
I don't think that
happened. I think that's the wrong movie. Wait a minute, that's the wrong one.
Oh, that's the wrong movie. Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
That's the extended cut.
Oh, that's in the director's release.
Yeah, deleted scene. Sorry.
Well, okay. Well, then I saw the director's cuts, and then Froggy was having a torrid affair with Almond's sister.
Yeah. So he drops Almond's sister off at this home, and then he starts to develop this drug business. Wait, before that happened, remember when Vince Vaughn was working for Almond, Froggy was working for Almond, and he was going into these clubs selling this stuff, and these guys were beating him up. And he said, I'm with Almond. And they said, we don't care. They were punching him.
Yeah, because it was his brother-in-law. The one of the guys was his brother-in-law.
Oh, okay.
So then after Vince, the one of the big white guys. So when Vince Vaughn takes over the business, the first thing he does is goes and kills Almond's brother-in-law. He just hits him in the head with a tire iron and just kills him right there.
Oh, that's right.
So that way he's in total. He has no competition at all.
Yeah. So Vince Vaughn. So Vince Vaughn then, after he's turned Almond in, he's starting to develop his drug business, and it's almost like he's starting over again, really. And he runs into stops and gets gas at a service station, and he runs into these two twins,
right?
Young twins that are working.
Tim and Thomas.
Yes,
Tim and Thomas.
Tim and Thomas. So these twins are I don't even know if they're really mechanics or just acting like it or something. And they're like, "What are you boys doing here?" And they're like, "Oh, we do whatever we want. My aunt, or I guess their aunt's raising them. They're like, she don't care what we do."
Yeah. So then he picks them up and says, "Hey, you boys would be good for my business." And then,
because he knows he can manipulate them. He knows that they're weak-minded and that he can manipulate these guys.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that. That's right.
Yeah.
That's kind of reading a lot into it there.
Well, but then like towards like the end, I think not the second scene, but the third scene, when it shows Tim and Thomas grown, they own a donut business, and that's a front, but they don't sell donuts.
No.
So
no,
they don't sell anything like that. So Vince Vaughn goes in there, and there's another guy that comes into the shop, and he's wanting to move product. So he kind of like is trying to lean it on Vince Vaughn's business and take it over. So he tries to set him up. So then he shows up as a UPS kind of driver with some other people at the donut shop, and he tries to steal Vince Vaughn.
They start attacking Vince Vaughn. So
Vince Vaughn is product.
And then these twins come in bushwhackers.
Bushwhackers, yeah.
And they just.
I think that's who they were.
and then they kill everybody except one guy, and then one of the twins just chokes him to death.
Yeah.
And then after he's done, he takes his head and just brutally.
Yeah, there is some graphic scenes. Like the one scene. Okay, so let's go back to the John Malkovich part, because what happened with John Malkovich is, so these two guys, so the Liam Hemsworth character and Swin go to the house to drop off drugs for money.
In Louisiana, they go somewhere in Louisiana,
and it's this old Greek guy. It's this old Greek guy with this young I don't know, this nut. I don't know what was the background with that young guy with the long hair.
That was his grandson. That was the grandfather and grandson.
It was the grandfather and grandson. Okay, so the grandson had some issues. So what happens was that trade happened. Liam Hemsworth was kind of flexing some muscle there and saying, "Why don't you just go get that bag, and how about you just give us our money?" Anyways, the money was exchanged. the grandson follows them back to John Malkovich's house, and he captures John Malkovich and semi-tortures him. And that part was like, what's going on here? He sticks a hanger in his ear, and it starts to get a little graphic. Well, that ends up, killing them both. But those characters, what was I gonna say?
So that's how Kyle and Swin end up taking over the business, or taking over
because
for John
now
Malkovich.
they're trying to hide the fact that Malkovich is dead. So that's when Froggy starts being like, where is this guy?
But they don't want to run, and they don't want to leave, because they know if they do, they look suspicious, and they know that they could get caught and killed. So they stay there, and they keep making money, keep doing the business. And so then Kyle ends up going to the old man's house, that the grandson, and kills the grandfather, and tries to set things right and stuff. So that's where, Froggy, towards the end of the movie, Froggy, has the twins. He doesn't ambush Kyle and Swin, but he gets them like at a restaurant or a restroom area and stuff. And they take one of the twins, ends up taking Swin out, and there's a gunshot, and it's implied that he gets killed.
Right.
So then Kyle gets mad and with the other twin, and he starts fighting with him, and he takes his thumbs, pokes his eyes out.
He does it like Punisher. Remember in the Punisher they did that?
Yeah. And then leaves him there, and then takes off, leaves him in the bathroom, takes off, and then he goes, and the girl that Swin was dating that was pregnant, he ends up telling her, gives her some money, and kind of says, you need to get out of here.
Yeah.
And then that's when Froggy and the other twin plot to kill him. They plot to kill Kyle. They say, hey, we got to get rid of these guys and stuff. And then obviously at the end, or towards the end, Kyle kills the other brother that comes after him, shows up at Froggy's house, and Froggy's trying to get back into business because he's trying to.
It's really a desperate thing. You kind of feel bad for Froggy at the end. He's like trying to get back in the drug business, and he calls people that he used to know. He's like, how about Oklahoma City? And he's like, Oklahoma City's a mess, man. Why would you even do that? So that part was like, you kind of felt bad for Froggy.
I know. And then when Hemsworth shows up, or Kyle shows up, and he's got his arm in the sling and he's got a gun, he just takes. There's music playing, and the good thing is, and I don't know if you guys agree, but the soundtrack for this movie was pretty awesome. Like, it was pretty spot on.
I don't even remember the music. Like, what kind of music was there?
So they had like a remake of John Denver Country Roads or whatever that.
Yeah.
They had that in there. They had like a bunch of like country music, old kind of country music, bluegrass. So it kind of fit the theme with, like, I guess country, Arkansas, like just kind of like, I don't know, like the soundtrack was pretty good. And then at the end, when Kyle ends up, shooting Froggy twice, you don't hear the gun. You don't even know. You just see him.
You can see it.
Right. You see him put the gun down, and the first thing I thought was, oh man, he's letting him go. Like, he's just letting him go, and they're gonna like bygones be bygones. And then the camera pans back over to Froggy, and you see 2 bullet holes in his chest.
Yeah.
And he just gone.
And then Kyle, Froggy was getting a phone number to get back in the business, so Kyle then gets that phone number and he
picks it up. Yep. And then the whole end scene after the movie in the credits is Swin's girlfriend driving off, and she's upset. So it shows her like driving off, and that's it. But
she's on a bus, I think.
No, she's in a car.
Oh, is she in a car?
She's in a car.
I thought she was riding in the bus.
No, she's in a car.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, aside from like, at first I thought like these fake Southern accents that Malkovich had and everything, I think this was going to be so cheesy, but then it started to get good, and it was so entertaining. It kept on point. It was like, okay, I wasn't lost that much, like some movies you're so lost, and so I thought it was pretty good.
And the movie's actually based on a book written by John Brandon called Arkansas, and it's got the same character names and everything, and it's almost identical to the movie. So it's based on a novel.
Cool, awesome.
So, but it was a pretty good movie. I was pretty impressed. was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So
out of a 5-star rating, what would each one of you give the movie?
I'd probably give it like a 4. I wouldn't say it's like a 5. But
I think I'd give it a 4 too. It keeps your attention because, like you said, they have it broke up in chapters.
Yeah.
And that kind of breaks it up a little bit. And there's always, you don't know what's going to happen next. I would give it at least a 4. Yes.
And I think Vince Vaughn too really makes him and Liam Hemsworth really make this movie.
And Malkovich.
Yeah. Malkovich is always crazy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not the movie wouldn't be for little kids. It would be at least teenagers, PG-13 or whatever.
That's right.
Yeah. Like I said, it is kind of violent. The other movie that Liam Hemsworth is in, like I said, it's a Western movie, but it's got Woody Harrelson in it, and it's a really good movie too.
Okay.
And that's called
Does he have a southern accent in that movie too?
Yeah, and it's set in Western times, and it's like a cowboy kind of movie.
That's called The Duel, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Duel. Yeah. Maybe we can watch. Maybe we can do a review on that movie as well.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one with Liam Hemsworth in it. So.
Right.
Awesome. All right. Well, that should summarize our review of Arkansas. Do you guys have any last things to say?
No, just keep watching, and if you like this review, please subscribe and tune in. We're trying to have one of these once a week, and so if you like us, subscribe, and y'all come back.
All right, guys. We will see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Okay. See you.
Bye.
Say thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.